Hi, my name is Brittany, and today in this video we are going to discuss some effective study tips to help keep you motivated and inspired on your English mastery journey. A common question that my students ask me is, where shall I start? With vocabulary or grammar? I always reply, to be honest, it doesn't really matter where you start, just as long as you do start. I recommend starting with something that interests you, something you're passionate about, something such as watching your favorite film in English with or without subtitles, reading your favorite book in English, watching some YouTube content or a TED talk that really interests and inspires you. Once your vocabulary increases, the grammar will naturally come by itself alongside. Once you come across a new word in English, try and use that word straight away or in your next lesson or conversation in English. It's really easy to just write words in a notebook and they're very easily just forgotten about. So that is not an effective way to learn. This helps to build vocabulary naturally and also build meaningful vocabulary to you and helps you sound more fluent and more natural when you're speaking. Try and incorporate English into your daily life. Make it part of your daily routine and a daily habit. For example, tell yourself you're going to speak for 3 minutes on a morning whilst you make your daily coffee, or read a book for 10 minutes before you fall asleep every night, or listen to an audiobook in English on your daily walk. Doing these habits help to incorporate English into your daily life, which makes it so much easier to stick to. It's such a more effective way than studying for hours once in a while. You can also follow other students, learners, teachers, English tips and tricks page on social media. It's a much more fun and interesting way to learn grammar tips, phrasal verbs, idioms, rather than just reading a dry textbook. Remember to keep variety in your study. Have a little look at all the different areas in English, whether that's reading, writing, listening, grammar revision, speaking. Don't just focus on one area, especially if it's the area that you find the most difficult. You need to keep it varied. Another really common question that I get asked quite a lot is, how much time should I spend focusing on English? To be honest, around 10 to 15 minutes a day is effective. It's all about making sure that English is incorporated into your daily life. This makes it so much more realistic and easier just to fit in, so you're not worrying about having a long study period, especially if you have a busy life, family, a job, and you're worrying where you're going to fit English in. It only takes 10 minutes, and you can also often do this whilst you're doing something else. For example, one of my students watches YouTube every single evening just for 10 minutes whilst he's winding down. He notes down all his new vocabulary in his notebook, and then he makes a conscious effort to use all of his new words and phrases the very next day. Another one of my students has a very demanding, high pressure job and is a very busy individual. She still incorporates learning English into her daily routine. She listens to about 10 minutes of audio on her commute to work, and then she will pause and practice her pronunciation. She arrives at work feeling very motivated, very productive. She's already achieved her English for the day. So there's no excuse not to be able to find time to learn English, and 10 to 15 minutes is all you really need for it to be effective, as long as you are doing this every single day. Remember, learning isn't a 2-week boot camp, it's a lifelong journey. I'm a native speaker and a teacher of many years, and I still learn new words, phrases, or ways to express myself, often from students all the time. So we are all continually learning and on this journey together. Don't forget, you can also use the tools on the English Mastery Hub. You can use the dictionary and the other resources to find out the meaning of new words, and this can support you whenever you need it. Another question that I hear often is, how do I stay motivated learning English when it feels so hard? Learners are often studying for years, months, weeks, and sometimes they just feel a little bit stuck, like they're not improving or they're not really getting anywhere. I always remind learners and students of their why. Why do you want to get to such a good level in English? What is your why? Is it for a job promotion, a job opportunity? Is it to study a university degree in English? Is it to move somewhere to an English speaking country? To be able to communicate effectively with colleagues, clients, or friends? Have a think now about your why. Feel free to share it in the comments, or if not, just pop it in your phone or write it in a notebook and use this for when you're feeling a little bit stuck, a little bit demotivated. Have a look and remember and remind yourself your why. Focus on small steps. Set yourself mini goals, such as tomorrow I will wake up and do 10 minutes of reading. I will write down all my new vocabulary and use those new words and phrases in a conversation in my English lesson. Every task, even the small task that you complete is another small step towards your English journey and becoming a fluent, natural, advanced speaker. A student that will always stick in my mind was a student that came to me and he said, Brittany, I've been learning English for years at school and months with a private teacher. I know all my vocabulary. I understand all the grammar. I just feel like I can't express myself properly. I don't sound natural like a native speaker or have that fluency. He didn't really feel encouraged to carry on, so I reminded him of his why. And his why was to get out of his small town. He had never travelled and he really wanted to visit London. He really wanted to experience British culture and he really wanted to communicate with native English speakers in an effective way. So we had a chat about his why. We did a few lessons on British culture. We sparked his love for the English language again. And we did some exercises on achieving your goals and setting targets. This student worked so hard and he did achieve his goals. He visited London and he actually never returned back to his hometown. He was able to communicate with everybody so effectively that he completed a degree at London Metropolitan University in sports science, and he still lives down in London now, and he has a really successful job and completed all his goals, achieved his dreams, and I am just so proud of him for doing that. I hope that story inspires you a little bit to keep on going, following your dreams on this amazing English journey. Thank you for listening. I really hope some of these study tips helped, and I will see you in our next video. Bye.